What's going on, guys? Hope you're well. I'm pretty excited because I am going off to a training session and I'm going to group up with Lachllan, Adair and Marcus and Tirai and here we go. Just close this 1 second. Alright, she's closed. Yeah, going to group up with Kingpins, and I think this is my last training session in a table time since before I get to New York or New Jersey for Knuckles Up 2, back Seong Yeol, who I'm describing as the Todd Hutchins of South Korea. I'm going to be facing him, and it's really interesting. I've got a good buddy of mine, Seong Kik Park, who is a Korean arm wrestler who lives here in Brisbane, and chatting with him, he said this is the most anticipated match he's ever had. That Bake is somewhat of a coach and a mentor to him, and taught him, really inspired him to get into arm wrestling. Bake's been the #1 overall arm wrestler in Korea for a total of like seven years. He's back and forth with the top guy at the moment, who's heavier than him in the super heavyweight division, but he beat him 3 months ago. So whether he's the #1 in Korea or not, it's not my call. But he's been the #1 for a long time, and he's back and forth with the other guy at the moment, who's considered #1. And if you watch him pull, he just won the Indonesian overall championships. He won the money there, and he won it with the most brutal, resilient side pressure. The dude gets his wrist taken fairly regularly. Like it's not hugely surprising to see his wrist go back. But when people take his wrist, they struggle. They really struggle to finish. They don't know how to finish. Now I have a press. I can transition from a top roll to a press if I think back to how I sort of pulled down Garrett, WAL, that style. But if his side pressure is as brutal as I'm hearing it is, then it's not going to be a simple task. So I'm really excited. This is, like I said, my last training session before that match. But I'm pumped to get on the table with some of the club guys, particularly Lachllan. I haven't gripped Lachllan. It feels like in a month and a half or something like that. So it'll just be nice to see how that feels. I think that Lachllan is the perfect guy for me to prepare for someone like Beck because Lachllan obviously inside pressure, super strong, which is really what Beck's going to be bringing to the table. He's shorter than me, more compact than me, so he's going to have a lot of power through his arm. I don't think he's got the hand that Lachlan's got, but yeah, how better could I possibly prepare than with Lachlan? So that's exciting. That's what's going on for me tonight. I'm just heading there now to the Kingpins. Yeah, should be a good night. Should be a good night. Talking about my back, a lot of people have been sending me lots of messages. Thank you, everybody who has shared their expertise, putting it out to the public. My scan images and my report and all sort of stuff is always an interesting experiment when it comes to the range of information. I am super grateful because I know everybody means well, but it is interesting to see the very wide variety of opinions. And the big shout out, thank you to Lachllan Adair. Lachllan Adair being somewhat of a check or filter for me on his like, hey Ryan, some of these recommendations are truly whack, as he put it. So he was a bit of a filter on which recommendations to ignore and which ones to stick by. But anyway, back's going good. I feel completely different. The reason I feel completely different is I've had a really optimistic consultation with my physiotherapist, Matt Britton. Matt fixed me up about 10 years ago, and I haven't really seen him in that since then. And he fixed me up 10 years ago, and he pretty much really fixed me up again. Really not being too overly concerned about the disc herniations in respect to those things being the cause, but rather those things being a symptom. That really changed the way we look at things, and really just focusing on getting moving again and getting the range back and the correct postures, the correct muscle path movements, all that sort of stuff to support a non-restricted back. And just in doing that, man, things feel so much better. So anyway, I'm excited to be preparing for everything at the moment, and my back's feeling good, and tonight will be a confirmation of that. Now, interestingly, this is probably the most interesting part of my thought process over the last few weeks, because I'm going to have a good chat with Lachlan about this tonight, and maybe I'll record it because I want to get his thoughts on it, because I know he's a real student of this sort of stuff, so I need to ask him about it. But I'm gonna put my data out for you guys right now that's making me really think, and we'll go from there. So since I got home from India against Mazahir Saidu, let's just say that my training has been the most disjointed training I've ever had, for a number of reasons. Firstly, I was sick when I got home from India. I had intestinal bacteria, deli belly, whatever you want to call it. That put me out of action for at least 8 days. I then got a massive increase in my work schedule, and my hours were 7:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. That was like a hand grenade to my schedule. I was then super busy with life. We just had a whole bunch of things that were making me have to change what I was able to do. I was helping out friends. I was looking after people. We were doing a lot of different things with work and life and organizing stuff, and it just meant that nothing could be done. Now, between Mazahir and my next match, Gunter's Baikovs, I would honestly say I got in about 4 gym sessions and about 5 arm wrestling specific sessions at home, which is super low, really low on the scheme of how much I would usually do. Now, I put in a performance against Gunter's Baikovs that was, in my honest opinion, my best performance I've ever put in a super match. I beat Gunter's so dominantly that it shocked me, and I was like, what on earth was that? That was crazy. Gunter's level, people may make the wrong assumption that Gunter's level is not high. Gunter's level is incredibly high. He was the most challenging arm wrestler I've faced. I mean, if you have a look at his last few matches, he beat Mario Tambakis very comfortably, 3-0 in his super match against him, to give you some perspective. And if you know Mario, you know Mario's level. It gives you a good idea of where Gunter's level is at. And I beat Gunter's in a fashion that shocked me. I just was like, wow, okay, all right. Since getting back from the match with Gunter's, I again haven't had the ability to train, this time because of my back. It's now been like a week and a half, and because of my back, I have done nothing. I have done 0 training up until pretty much now. In the last 48 hours, I've done 2 arm wrestling specific lifts. One, I picked up 53 and a half kilos, maybe more, I can't remember, maybe 55 and a half kilos, whatever it was. I think I picked up 55 and a half kilos, and I did 15 reps of it. That was a huge PR on my static pronated back pressure lift that I do. Huge PR, like not only a rep PR, but a weight PR as well. And then yesterday I picked up 71 kilos, where my previous 1RM was 68.5, and I used to really battle with that 68.5. I used to have to get all the conditions like stupidly perfect for that to work. And I picked up 71 kilos yesterday, and I had to do a double take at the fact that it came off the ground. So I have hit numbers that I've never reached before, very significant PRs, and I haven't been training, and I've been resting way more than usual, and I'm honestly, like, for me, my thoughts are straight away is that the super compensation that I've had, is that what's going on? Is this just a massive super compensation from training done in the past? What is it like? To me, that is what's going on. But then I'm asking myself, okay, well, how do you then take this information and appropriate for me the most efficient ongoing program? Like, obviously super compensation is great for a match, but if I'm wanting to optimize continued progress, what is like, have I been doing too much before? Should I be slowing it down and putting more space and more rest in? Which to me would be really odd to do, because I've trained essentially every day of my life for arm wrestling, but the numbers and the jump in numbers correlating with the lack of training in the last few weeks is bizarre. So tonight I group up with Lachllan Adair, and it will be very interesting to see what our balance feels like. Obviously Lachllan has been significantly ahead of me in times gone by, so tonight will be a very interesting strength check. It's been a month and a half or so since I've gripped him. Last time I gripped him, he was just controlling me with ease. Out of straps, I could do nothing with him. In straps, there was a small window of hope if all things were right in the strap, with me in a defensive open arm top rope. That was the only thing that existed. So we'll compare notes tonight to see if that is the case. So don't miss it. I'll upload the strength check. But I also want, like I said, I want to have the chat with Lachllan to see what he thinks about this, because he has that knowledge on the scientific level. I think he's actually formally studying to be a coach of coaches when it comes to fitness and strength and all that sort of stuff. So he knows his stuff. So I want to see what he's got to say about this, because to me this is super interesting data. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm looking forward to getting to New York. I'm so excited about going to New York. It's been a long time since I've been to the US. Since pre-COVID, pre-lockdown nonsense, that was the last time I was there. I am so excited to be in New Jersey. RVJ is going to be there now. Obviously we're not facing each other, but RVJ, I'm excited because RVJ has been showing a degree of interest in the match with me that we've never seen before, and I'm really appreciative of the respect that he threw my way to say that I'm actually looking strong these days, and he feels like the match is a worthy match now. That's awesome, and I think we're one step closer to it happening. He and I being in the same room is super interesting. We'll see what happens. Is there going to be a side table grip up? Is there going to be something like that? We will find out. Obviously depends on how our matches go. Me against back, he's pulling Brandon Allen, I think. So who knows what our levels of fatigue are going to be afterwards. But I'm super excited to be in the same room as RVJ and see where things go. I think 2024 is going to see an actual match between RVJ and I. I really hope that's the case. I really do. But New York, I'm so excited to be in. My wife and I are both going to be going there, and just the temperature difference. I'm looking up the weather for the time I'm there, and in Celsius, we're talking the typical day is -4 through to 0, and I'm so excited for that because I'm over the heat here in Brisbane, Australia at the moment. It's humid and hot, and I'm drinking so much water, it's just ridiculous. But that's what we got coming up. New York, and I can't wait. We're going to spend a few extra days there just to do some sightseeing. My wife's never been to New York, so I'll be able to go and see a Broadway show and all those sorts of things. Should be lots of fun. Anyway, guys, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to tonight's training session. It's been too long. Like I said, I will film it. It will be the next video that drops. It will be the strength check with Lachllan, Adair and I, so don't miss that. And after that, I'll see if I can get the video where I talk about this super compensation, peaking, training schedule thing with Lachllan, and pick his brain, because I want to know what that man's got to say about this. Alright guys, I'll see you at the strength check.